Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
Episode 3 of the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 3. If you've made it this far, you're an OG fan, as far as I'm concerned.
You've already made it. 3 episodes is all it took. You're OG. You get to wear the bandana.
The bar is low.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us. It's been a wild ride.
It's been a crazy 3 weeks.
Oh, man. We were so young when we started this whole thing, eh?
So young and full of hope. And then we saw the listener numbers. We realized this is really just a hobby.
It's funny how into, like, we both are. I think, like, I come here and I'm like, hey. And you're like, hey. And then there's a little quietness between us. And then you wanna see how many people listened? Yeah, okay. Ooh, what we had 63 today.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. It leaves a lot to the imagination because I want to know, like, the advanced stats. Like, 63 people turned it on and we're like, whoops.
Whoops, I meant for the other dad podcast.
Yeah, I was meant for the one I like. This was a mistake. But no, I am interested. I like it. I like knowing.
And classic, like, tradition, 3-episode tradition, you brought the Sody Pops again.
Yeah, heck yeah. I leveled up. I moved away from, like, just the Pepsi product in the same bottle. And we're going glass. Candy shop. No, is it candy shop? What is it? It's the Pop Shop.
The Pop Shop.
The Pop Shop tastes like candy, cream soda.
It's very good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not puking this one up. Not yet.
I might finish this whole bottle. I remember last week I said I was going to keep the Grape Crush in the fridge.
Yeah, you're going to sell it Belle Delphine style.
Oh, yeah. I did keep it in the fridge, and then I looked at it like 2 days ago. I was like, well, that's flat now, and I definitely didn't go back for another sip, so I just dumped her.
And cleaned your drains. You got two birds stoned at once there.
Oh, yeah. My drains smell like Grape Crush now.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And when they corrode and leak through your ceiling will smell like Grape Crush. It'll be fantastic.
My basement's going to flood, and the plumber's going to be like, what are you pouring down your drains? Just pure acid, battery acid? What are you doing?
Oh, man. Well, you know what? Okay. We got the good pop today. We got the good vibes with the 63 listens. And I'm here to tell you, those 63 listens, we're reaching people. We really are.
Really?
Yeah. Dex, I got a big surprise for you.
I want to hear this surprise.
So, as our listeners know and as Dex knows, we've shared pretty much an equal load when it comes to doing work on this podcast. We've... both of us have put in the same amount of time. We wear the same number of hats. Would you agree with that, Dex?
I'd say, yeah. It's a 50-50 split, maybe 51-49. It's close.
Yeah, well, and that's total BS. Dex does everything, and the one thing I did accomplish, and it took me all of 5 minutes, was I established our Rad Dad Redemption podcast at gmail.com, our email.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and would you believe it, Dex, that 63 listens later, 3 weeks later, we've got some feedback.
Oh, mailbag.
We've got a legit mailbag. Do you want to go over? You want to do the mailbag intro you were working on and were telling me all about?
We'll have to edit it in post. I wasn't prepared.
No, Dex. Come on. Do the mailbag. You're talking to me about it. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Here.
Mailbag time, motherfucker.
That's where I'm gonna edit it in.
When to cut it in? To cut in the one frame of a wiener, which I did Google, and it absolutely was true.
You sent me a picture of it, and it is quite the wiener. Anyway, okay, mailbag.
So hopefully you've just enjoyed a really trendy mailbag jingle.
Oh yeah, I'll think of something.
Okay, cool. So yeah, our email again is raddadredemptionpodcast@gmail.com. And I do want to thank the few people who did reach out to us. Now I'm going to read what they wrote. I got 3 here. And because I don't want to read people's names, we talked about that in episode 1, like using people's real names. I'm using aliases. So These are not their real names. Okay. This one comes to us from Chad Robertstern.
Okay. All right, what'd Chad say?
Hey, you two. Congrats on the podcast. You should be proud. It's actually super funny. Quick question. How do you get Dex's voice to sound exactly like Chaz Bono's? Is it a voice modulator or something? It's uncanny. Exactly like listening to Chaz Bono. Excited to keep listening. All the best. Chad.
I'm not familiar with what Chaz Bono sounds. Is that a compliment or is that a diss?
I think it's more like you sound like what people imagine Chaz Bono sounds like.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really get that one. I didn't write these. Here's another one coming to us from Shane and Bailey Hook. Shane and Bailey write, "The show is hilarious, guys. We're frigging stoked you finally got after it. Funny content and super impressed with how Dex does a Rosie O'Donnell voice impression for the entirety of the recording."
I'm seeing a theme.
Talk about commitment to the craft. Baja Boys for life. Shane and Bailey.
Love it. Okay. So I sound like Chaz Bono and Rosie O'Donnell. I'm starting to think these aren't compliments from the mailbag, but okay. Next one. You said we got 3, right?
We got 3. This one's has nothing to do with Chaz Bono or
what other
Rosie
fat
O'Donnell.
Celebrity do I sound like?
They don't say you sound like anyone in this one. Stan Barsh writes, "Are you going to have any guests on the show?" Oh, right after it. "Are you going to have any guests on the show? I think the Rad Dad should reach out and get some interesting people on. Maybe Dex could reach out to his real father, Chum Lee from Pawn Stars, to do an interview." That could be a great crossover dad-themed episode. Just food for thought. Thanks, Stan.
Chum Lee.
Your real dad.
I love how I'm getting roasted. I won't lie. I feel like you had a hand in maybe encouraging some of these mailbags, but it's nice that we're getting some feedback.
Yeah, thanks for
from totally
writing.
random people that we don't know.
Yeah, can you guys keep writing in? That was awesome. A real big treat. Play that mailbag jingle one more time.
Here's the mailbag jingle.
Mailbag time, motherfucker.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Hey, that we're already reaching the masses, and they're all. I mean, and some cool requests. We should do some guests on this show.
I think we should try and get some guests. We definitely need to maybe level up our technology situation.
I did think about that. Are we just gonna like pass our snowball mics? You gonna say something? Oh no. Okay. I'll keep holding it.
Just as random talking in the background, holding the phone up to the snowball. That's good audio, right?
I thought about that doing like not necessarily like crank calls, but if we wanted to have a phone in episode, if we would just speaker phone it and hold it close.
I think the biggest thing I want to see in the mailbag is like a sponsorship opportunity. Like even if it's just like a free buffet coupon.
Well, your dad, Chum Lee, he should be able to.
He loves buffets.
Yeah. You guys can't see, but Dex isn't laughing as much as I am at the mailbag. He's in his own head.
Little bit.
What did all those characters have in common?
You remind me of insert fat annoying celebrity here.
Oh, it's not true. Come on, Dex. We're not fat. We're big boned.
I'm pretty fat.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I actually picked up these pops in Kindersley. We were on a road trip. We went to go see Grandma and Grandpa on Megan's side. And I don't know if you do this, but if I'm road tripping, I'm eating whatever I want. It's like road tripping, like driving Roadhammer style. It's like physically taxing, and it's giving me permission to be like, well, I'm on the road. We haven't left Okotoks yet, and I'm like, I gotta get 3 cheeseburgers from
Calories
McDonald's.
don't count on the highway.
I'm probably only gonna eat 2 now. I'll eat 1 once it's fallen on the floor and got a little snow on it. Heat it up on the dash.
Okay. Well, what's your go-to when you are road hammering across the prairies?
Go-to food?
Yeah.
Oh, I like to get the Longview jerky going.
Ooh.
Yeah, real
that's a
dad
good one.
mode. Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a little classier than what I thought you were going to say, because, I mean, I have no shame when I'm on a road trip. I'm like, yeah, well, we've talked about our bodies are not temples.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that definitely is true when I'm on a road trip. Like, I'll be like,
What's your guilty?
I'll be like, give me some Circle K pizza and potato wedges. And then later that night, I'll be like, oh, why do I not feel very good? It's like because I'm eating gas station pizza and potato wedges from the heat lamp.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to change my answer. I do like the jerky, but you're on a filthy one when you stop and get the, not even like a restaurant's food, but the Circle K or the 7-Eleven I get the taquitos.
Oh yeah, those are good too.
And there's not even a flavor I like. It's not even the idea I like. I'm just carb loading. I'm just trying to pack them in for my big ultra marathon I'm never running.
You're like, 3 taquitos for $5? Can't pass that deal up.
Have you ever ordered like there's some weird ones, like the what is it? They got just a meat stick, like the honey chicken meat stick.
Actually, so I always go to the Circle K in High River because I work in High River once a week. And I've never gotten food from there, but I feel like they have a different kind of setup than what I see at all the other Circle Ks. And they've got like kebabs and stuff. And I'm always very tempted to grab a Circle K kebab, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, you're going to eat a Circle K kebab after your pizza? After your croissant breakfast sandwich? I don't know if I'm going to have room.
That's a little gluttonous for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the whole, getting on the road's one thing, but then like even being on the trip, like, we got in late on the Friday and it was like midnight. Megan's grandma, oh, you guys must be tired, but like you probably want me to reheat the whole dinner for you. I'm like, I guess, yeah. Really worked up an appetite crushing all those burgers on the way here. We wash it down with some chili. No joke, we got up the next morning, had breakfast with the grandparents, then went to meet with another auntie, and they were just sitting down to breakfast. And she was like, you eat yet? And I was like, I could eat. Just double breakfast. Yeah.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so by that logic, you could probably have 2 or 3 and be fine.
Yeah, they can't say that if it's not true.
Yeah.
It's the most important. Eat the most.
It's the most important meal. Might as well just keep it going as long as you can. Speaking of 2 meals, so Rad Dad Redemption golf team had its inaugural appearance last week.
That's
at the
right.
River's Edge Virtual Golf League. And I ate in preparation for this very intense golf match we were going to have, and then found out they were serving dinner. And I also ate that while we were playing. Most of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you ate. I remember this. You ate 1 chicken nugget, and I was like, "You're gonna finish that?" And I helped you right along. I too had a couple snacks. I really didn't know what to expect.
Either did I.
What was it? They had like a pyramid of stacked boxes of chicken fingers and fries, no sauce. Help yourself.
Yeah.
It was a move. It was a whole vibe.
It was fine with me. I was like, okay, well, I won't eat next time before I come.
And we weren't there for the food, admittedly.
We were there to play golf, and I'm not really sure that's what we did either.
I think we gave it a good college try.
We did.
I think what was interesting about it is not, I don't golf in the summer really. I picked an incredibly awkward time to begin golfing in like neg 30 inside of Quonset in a men's league. But it's golf, but it was a huge adjustment.
It was like, so I'm a pretty experienced golfer, and even I was having some tough time. I was having a tough time with the sandbag. So on this virtual golf, for listeners who maybe haven't seen this type of, setup, if you hit it in the bunker on the game, you've got to play off, this bag that's supposed to simulate sand. And every time she kept saying that bag of sand, I just kept thinking of 40-Year-Old Virgin when they're like, what did her tits feel like? And he's like, a couple bag of sand.
Bag of sand.
Yeah. So I kept giggling every time somebody said bag of sand, like the adult that I am. But it's not. It is absolutely nothing like hitting out of a bunker. And I kept playing it like a normal bunker, and I just shoot the ball straight up in the air. So I was struggling too.
It was a hazard out there. I think like we were talking because it's a league, right? And you record your scores. And I was worried about my handicap because I didn't want to be accused of being a sandbagger, but I knew it was going to be high just based on like every other time I'd ever golfed and how that went. But I did not anticipate golfing a 143.
Yeah, that was no concerns about being accused of being a sandbagger.
It was a very weird situation to join like a golf league in the winter with a bunch of strangers, and then like by the 3rd hole you've got the guys you're playing, these like older dudes, like, you can do it, buddy. Like, keep your head down.
They were our biggest cheerleaders. These guys were so nice. And here's the thing is, I think everybody in that league had played there, but like they all knew each other. I think we were like the only new team there, at least that night. Everybody else seemed like they knew what they were going on.
Bonos walking in.
Look, is that Chumley?
No, it's his kid.
I feel like Chumley's only like 2 years older than me.
I don't know how old Chumley is. I actually don't know a lot about Chumley. He's been an absentee father.
Yeah.
You should get a part of that empire, that Pawn Stars empire.
I feel like he's not a part of the empire. Actually, he's in jail, or he was in jail. He had some issues.
Yeah, he did some shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the show for a bit. The cool thing about Pawn Stars is when you watch it, you watch 40 episodes of Pawn Stars. You ever done that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's not like you don't know what's going on. You're like, no, I've seen episodes 1 through 60.
And the History Channel knows. They know that once you get into one episode, you're like, I'm going to watch a few more. So they got like 2 seasons back to back on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing. Oh, same thing with Border Patrol. You ever watch Border Patrol?
I've never seen Border Patrol.
Okay. So Alicia's family for a while thought that I was like the biggest Border Patrol fan there ever was, because one day, I think this was even before we were married, we were visiting her parents, staying at their house, and we went out the night before, and I got just dirty drunk, like probably top 10. Oh yeah, top 10 all-time drunkest Dex moments.
With Larry?
No, with Alicia, but we stayed at their house. And I think I was definitely throwing up at one point in the morning. Yeah, very classy of me. And so Alicia went to go like see some friends, because this is when we lived out of town. So we're back in Calgary. She's like, I'm gonna go see some friends, and they're like, Dex, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm just gonna post up on the couch here and smell like vodka in your living room, if that's cool with you. And there's Border Patrol on, and the remote was like a full 5 feet away, and I wasn't getting up for that.
That's too far.
I watched a Border Patrol marathon all day, and everybody was like, man, Dex loves Border Patrol.
Dex loves Border Patrol. We got to get him a Border Patrol hoodie.
Oh, yeah, like box set DVD for Christmas. Yeah, just...
That's going to be a thing. I'm gonna pump those tires.
Oh, yeah, Border Patrol.
I don't know when I'm going to get that opportunity, but if it ever comes up, like your 40th, the whole gang's together, like we want to do something really special for Dex. I'm like, well, do you guys remember Border Patrol? Because he's like a huge super fan, and he told me like what would be like the quintessential piece of memorabilia from Border Patrol.
I feel like to get me the authentic Border Patrol experience by like slipping some drugs in my bag before we go on a vacation.
And then film it? Yeah. This is exactly what he wanted.
Oh, you've been punked.
Noted. Okay. All right. He wants a hoodie and a real life experience.
I always love on Border Patrol. Everybody's so clueless. They're just like, I didn't know I could bring raw rat meat back from this foreign country. It's like, what are you talking about?
This was America. I thought this was America.
Yeah.
No, man. I love those types of shows, but I've never seen Border Patrol.
Okay, well, you should get on that too. Right after you watch a B movie.
It's on. It was on Netflix. I know. Trying to find a movie for Mary, and I was like, we're not watching this shit.
I don't support these kind of human bee relationships.
See, I'm a real bigot. Yeah. It's a problem. Man, we started talking about sports and playing in our rec golf league, which I do want to come back to, but now I'm kind of thinking about these like History Channel type shows. I was a big Storage Wars guy.
Storage Wars is a good one.
They're like Barry from Storage Wars. Talk about a talent.
I liked him because he was chill. He was just like, yeah, I'm here to buy some storage lockers, and like, but everybody else was like really leaning into the drama of buying storage lockers, and Barry was just a cool dude.
Yeah, he was too cool for the drama.
I think he was, yeah.
I did read after though that like a large majority of that show was staged.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Pretty much. I mean, I hate to spoil it for anybody, but any reality show is very lightly living in reality. A lot of it is very scripted. I actually met somebody who worked on a reality show. I won't say who or what show, but the amount that was scripted, I was like, they're a family. Like, how much of this could be scripted? Like, a lot of it. Every conflict, like...
You watch some of them, and it's like, how could this not be? But you don't want to think it's true of, like, your show. Your own show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I watched The Challenge. MTV's The Challenge. It's real.
I don't think I've ever watched that one, but yeah, 100% real. Don't suspend your disbelief. Enjoy it, whatever. I'm not here to yuck your yum, bro.
Oh, don't yuck my yum. We're gonna do that later.
You know what Alicia's watching lately?
What?
My wife, for those that aren't familiar with Alicia, but she's watching Love is Blind.
Oh yeah, I've been not like an oh yeah, like oh yeah, I love that, but I often hover over it and I'm like, who the fuck watches this? You ever do that? Like, I'm not gonna watch it, but I'm gonna watch the first 30 seconds of audio and shake my head at this shit.
My wife watches Love is Blind, and I've obviously been adjacent in the room when she's been watching it sometimes. That show makes me wish I was blind. Like, that is the worst. It's so stupid. And here's the thing about all the dating shows: Bachelor, Love is Blind, Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelor in, Sub-Saharan Africa, all the different flavors of The Bachelor. They all go on and they're like, I'm looking for love. Like, I'm really tired of playing games. I've done all of this. I've had the relationships. It's like really time to settle down. And the way that they decide to do that is by turning their love life into a game show.
Into a circus.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm ready to get serious. So I'm going to go on a show where I talk to somebody in a pod and then we decide before seeing each other if we want to get married. I'm like, is that the way? You've had some bad experiences and you think that's going to be any better?
I think I created a fake show in my head where like all the contestants were blind, but Love is Blind is where they're behind their curtains and they gotta like go off the voice and the things people okay, you know what, Megan watches this one. Yeah. So they start out, there's a person in one like cubicle and they just like, they start asking questions and sharing stories, and there's always like a cliche emotional bit like, like, oh man, my brother back in the day, like he got cut from the baseball team or whatever. I don't know. Fuck. I was, that's a shit example, but my
brother got cut from the baseball team and it really shaped who I am today.
You know what happened there is I thought of like a horribly dark example. I'm like, I don't want to say that on the podcast. You got to be mindful of some of the stuff. What's a bad thing that would happen to a kid, No. Like, not really bad. Like, just like for the show. Like,
well, I mean, there's a lot of people who have. I mean, the common theme is they've had some relationship issues. So maybe their parents, left them, or they had
their parents split up. Yeah,
parents split up. They had a unfortunate passing.
Chumlee said, "I'm out of here, and I'm not raising that kid. He sounds just like Rosie O'Donnell."
I'm going to Vegas to work at a pawn shop. Anything's better than here. Yeah. So. The other thing that I don't like about Love is Blind, now that we're on it and I'm ranting, because I try and have these rants with my wife and she won't have it.
Let it out. This is what we're here for.
She loves the shows, so she's just like, no, I don't want to hear this. But Love is Blind. They can't see each other. But everybody on that show, like the ugliest person is like a 6.5 out of 10. If it's there's got to be some stakes, I want some absolute mutants mixed in there, just where like they're finally,
Yeah, honestly, I'm hearing you. Continue. I like this.
When they propose and then that little barrier comes up and they see the other person, I want one of them to be like, go ghost white and just be like, what have I done?
It's like a guy's like got a wood leg. He's a pirate wearing like a patch or something like that.
Let's really test how committed they are, because when the barrier comes up and the other person on the other side's hot and you're hot, you're like, oh well, this is a great decision. Like, no immediate ramifications,
which doesn't always happen on the show.
No.
But you're saying we need to up the ante.
Oh yeah, we need to see how blind love really is.
Yeah, what are we talking about? I'm just trying to think of who's on the other side. but in a way that's
Chumlee.
But in a way that's not going to get me in trouble, Yeah, something real bad. Someone real bad looking. Use your imagination.
Imagine if I was on the other side.
Oh god. Yeah.
I don't think I'd get the proposal. If I do, in fact, sound like a mixture of Rosie O'Donnell.
Does that happen on the show? You know what? I just really thought that would be funny to mess with you. I was like, you've had like a forlorn look on your face this whole podcast now.
This is the final episode.
This is so insecure. Creative differences. He made some jokes. He said I sounded like this. It wasn't working out.
No,
I love you, buddy. Kay, who do I sound like?
I think you sound like the type of handsome man that I would propose to on Love is Blind.
On the other side of the curtain?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
100% you're getting that proposal.
Stop. Well, now I feel like an idiot. Yeah, I don't know. You'd be on the other side. I'm like, so what are you into? Like, what's your kinks? Like, what do you spend your time doing? Like, I just finished Super Mario RPG on SNES. I just finished Final Fantasy VI on SNES. I just finished Chrono Trigger on SNES. You know, like, they're gonna be turned to the producer like, we don't need to do the review. Like, just cut the whole show.
You never know. There could be like a retro gamer girl on the other side. Might make for a good episode.
Yeah, that show sucks.
The only thing I like about that show is when they do propose, they get to the end and someone like they call it at the altar. They're like, no. That's my favorite part of that makes me sick. That makes me a bad person. I've realized that as I'm saying this out loud right now. But I love seeing just like I love when they pan to the family because like they got to meet the family and do blah 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 blah. Get to the wedding. It's obviously not a huge thing, but the family had to come in from wherever they live in America for this wedding that like was arranged on a game show where, you know, in the span of a few weeks, and then they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. And the family's like, we flew out here from Tallahassee.
Imagine pitching that to your like super conservative parents. Like, you're going to come out, there's going to be cameras everywhere. There's this guy I just met, don't really know anything about him or his family. We're going to go through all the motions, and then like at the altar we're going to make a call, and it's probably going to embarrass you and embarrass me, and it's going to be all anyone talks about in our neighborhood for years.
Just throw down a stack of waivers. You're going to need to sign all of these.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we're in. This show's a hit.
Love is Blind.
Do you ever watch The Circle?
No. So I don't watch a lot of reality TV.
Dex, okay? You just told me you were a super fan of Love is Blind. Both Love is Blind and, what'd you say?
Border Patrol.
Border Patrol. You always watch Border Patrol.
Border Patrol's real, though. No scripting.
Yeah, fair enough. Border Patrol's 100% real. You can't fake that.
No. How could they even put a box in there that they have to scan that's going to be some... I love how they play it up. They're like, could be something dangerous, and it cuts to commercial. And then like, oh, actually, it was just love letters from Gam Gam. You know?
It's just all the shots like panning to their faces, like, and then you see, and then it like immediately cuts to like, Alone is always the big promo. Or what's the one where they're like all hillbillies in Alaska and they're like one family? Have you seen that one? You said you don't watch. You said you don't watch them.
Yeah.
This is good for the rad dads because this is the ones that our wives watch that we say we don't watch, but we're definitely like every time we walk past the TV, you know, you stop and stare for a bit. And then over the course of time, you like get to know a few of the characters. That's me and like the Real Housewives. I'm still not quite up to speed because there's just so many iterations of it. Like I'll be on my phone and look up and Megan's watching The Real Housewives of Potomac County. I'm like, what? Where? What? But that one always gets me because it's like it's the exact same thing every single time, and I can't look away. Like I have to watch it. They're always at a luncheon. They're always outside this one huge table. They're all sitting across from each other, just guzzling wine. Like they may as well be wearing those novelty helmets, like the football ones with like a wine cup and a wine glass on either side, the straws to their mouth, and they're just like jibber jabbing with their big fake lips. You can't understand half these fucking people, and it's always something like, well, last time we were at a big giant table outside getting served lunch, I said this about Cindy, and you didn't have my back. And then it's just like, without fail, 10 seconds later, like, you fucking slut, bitch. I'll kill you. That's why your husband committed all those crimes and is in prison. I love those shows. I can't look away.
It's definitely like, it's like watching like something horrible happening in front of you, and you're like, this is bad, I don't want to see this, but at the same time, like, I'm here for the drama. And I think that's why those shows are so successful, because if they grab you just for a couple minutes, then you're a captive audience for, you know, several episodes, because you're like, well, I gotta see how the luncheon, you know, fiasco shakes out.
The remote's 5 whole feet away from me. Like, I'm gonna have to watch 40 of these things. And then you're in too deep. You gotta come back. I brought up Alone earlier, and you don't watch Alone.
No,
but you should watch Alone. It's not scripted, and I know we've been saying that like as a joke. What you can't tell listeners is that when we're saying like it's real, we're just like also staring into each other's eyes. You know, there's a lot of behind the scenes play. But Alone, the whole premise is it's like real Survivor. They drop these dudes out in the wilderness, usually in some remote Canadian location, and how do you win? You just stay out there the longest. That's it. They're allowed like 13 items. You watch that show not to see who wins, not to see who's like capable and driven to survive in the elements. You watch it for the fat idiot that like saw the last season and was like, I could do that. I could be on Deadliest Catch. It doesn't look that tough. I'm going to go do it. And just without fail, like puts an axe in their kneecap or like can't catch a fish. Just like immediately bitch out and start crying. That's what I'm here for, man.
So that sounds like somebody saw Survivor and they're like, we need to level this up a bit.
It is honestly, it's super leveled up. I'm talking to the listeners here. I know there's some Alone fans out there. Please hit me up at raddadredemptionpodcast@gmail.com with your feedback. Know more about Dex's voice. Please. Thank you. You really didn't like that stuff.
You know what's speaking of like leveled up Survivor, I think one of my favorite things to watch just for, a few minutes, but I love just seeing how they've leveled down Canadian Amazing Race. Because there's like OG Amazing Race, American, they're flying all over the world, jet setting, doing these wild challenges, and then Canadian Amazing Race is like, all right, you're gonna hop in the back of this 99 Civic road trip to Regina where we're gonna have a challenge brought to you by Beaver Blast energy drink. Like, just like
Beaver Blast, it's damn good energy. You sick of having a caffeine crash? Get your Beaver Piss energy. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
They sponsor this show.
They like knock off Nature Valley granola bars. Challenges to eat 50 of them so you can have the energy to walk to Toronto.
The questions are all like, which Canadian hamlet has the world's largest Ukrainian sausage? Is that it? You know what I'm sitting here, I've been feeding you a lot of lies. I haven't seen that one either.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, like I'm an avid watcher of Canadian Amazing Race, but it's good just to tune in every now and then and just be like, okay, this is what you do with $40 of budget. CTV was just like, okay, we don't have a lot of money here. We can't be doing Air Canada flights around the world. Like, we're doing ground travel to off-season locations. So like Regina in February,
Oh, yeah, no, I always love the Canadian version of like established shows too. My wife and I, admittedly, maybe I'm a fraud. I'm a huge, big fraud. Because I guess as we're sitting here, I watch a lot of reality TV. And one that we watched all the time in college was Big Brother, specifically like American Big Brother USA. Then it's over and you're like, what the hell am I going to watch? And it's like Big Brother Canada's on. And I always laugh at those ones because like the set is so scaled down. The people are like just obviously so much lamer and so much more typecast because you got to have one from the Maritimes. You got to have like one Alberta idiot firefighter, cop, or oil worker. Like there's just always something like you could tell which type of person they're getting from each province. But more strikingly, like the US to the Canadian version is when they do the prizes and like, here's what our contestants are playing for. And the American one's like, yeah, they get 500 smackers or 500,000 smackers. And in Canada it's like you get a Weber barbecue and like $1,000 to Canadian Tire and a chance for one of 5 timeshares in the Lower Mainland.
You get a 50% off coupon for a weekday stay at Lake Louise.
Yeah, and these guys are living away from their families for months on end in this like what is clearly not a house. It's just like a construction, like a set in a studio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Canadian reality TV. But you know what? It's remember when they did they do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Canada? Yeah, like Jerry D hosted, didn't he?
Yeah, I'll believe anything you say.
I feel like that was
Jerry D was on Family Feud.
Okay. He's on everything. I feel like they're like, we need one Canadian comedian who's like also somewhat wholesome. We can welcome into family households. Like Jerry D just does it all. And I could be wrong though. I feel like there's a Canadian Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There's like, who wants to have $1,000? It's like taking the time off work to shoot like costs more than what you could potentially win.
Yeah. We just there was just a thing in the news the other day. Some Okotoks family went to Family Feud. They won like 10 grand. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, sort of like, could they all afford their flights to Toronto? Like, were those taken care of? Like, I feel like that's got to be a thing too. Like, you can be on the show, but the Canadian version, we don't. There's no per diem.
You got to pay your way.
You got to get here. You got to Amazing Race your way out here.
It's a combination. So one of the challenges on Amazing Race is to get the Family Feud contestants out to Toronto for their shoot.
It's a crossover episode. I like it. I'm buying it. Oh man, we got on this reality TV thing. I'm looking at my notes. I tried to, because last episode with the cutting room floor, you had some like unreal examples, and I was like, I'm gonna be prepared this time. Obviously I brought the emails, but then I was just like taking notes, and this is what I got written down here. I've got Saskatoon Fat Guy Tour. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that was me talking about like eating when I went out there, which led me to then write down Bowflex bikes.
Mine is sitting down right
there
beside us.
It's looking glorious.
I got it moved down since our show last week. Have yet to actually put it into use, but I'm making progress.
Yeah, it's out. It's visible.
Yeah, it's down in the finished basement now.
I like what you've done. You've put it by like the hangout TV area too, so like you can't sit and watch TV and like be a lazy POS without like the bike looking at you, like it's watching you.
You'd think that would be a motivating factor, but I definitely played Call of Duty on the couch in this exact spot until about 2 a.m. yesterday. Did I touch that bike? Absolutely not.
So listeners, Dex and I actually have matching Bowflex C6 bikes. We definitely
probably about the same use time on them too. No, your wife was actually going pretty hard on it.
She was using it. Yeah, it ended up being an okay purchase that way.
Yeah, so yours has a lot more use than mine does.
I thought though when I bought it, I was like, this is it. This is the one. Like I'm gonna be Lance Armstrong in like, I don't know, a couple of rides. And I'm putting on the miles. I got the apps, the Peloton, friggin' whatever. You know, I even got the booty shorts that have like the big foam pad. Did you get one of those?
No, I just
like legit biker shorts?
No, just normal workout shorts, which I always notice when I do get on the bike, there's like a week where like your ass has to get used to that seat again. It's like, yeah.
No, I bought like ass pads.
I mean, that's the way to go. I probably would have used it more if I had the ass pads.
I bought ass safety equipment to be able to ride my spin bike.
When I first got it, I used it a ton. I got it right. Well, like everybody, they probably got workout equipment in the last few years. Got it right at the beginning of the pandemic when everything was shut down. And the convenience of having it at home, I used it a ton. But then I had it in my garage at my old house, and was not a heated garage. So as soon as we hit kind of like mid-October, I was like, yeah, I'm not going outside to catch like the flu, get hypothermia to try and work out. So that was kind of a downside of that. And then when we moved into this house, obviously the basement wasn't done. We were renovating, so I didn't have it down here. So I'm really hoping now that it is moved down, it's only been down here a day, so I'm going to give myself a pass that I haven't used it yet. If I haven't used it by the next podcast, then I should probably sell it. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Give away my used, sweaty,
check
stinky.
Mine in there. Yeah. Send us an email, raddadredemptionpodcast@gmail.com. We're doing a used double C6 bike giveaway. Yeah. I was stoked because like you had one, I wanted one. I was shopping not only a gift for my wife, but I was super interested in getting it. And that's when the Peloton thing was like blowing up. So I was like sitting on my butt, you know, just munching on whatever. And you get the Peloton commercial and you're like, oh, damn it. I'm just trying to watch 15 episodes of Storage Wars here. I don't want to be reminded of what a lazy fat asshole I am. But you watch it enough, you know, you get enough. And I was like, maybe I should get a Peloton. Like, look at all these regular people using it. Said they're changing their life. But they're expensive. It was like $3,800 to get into the whole unit.
And then the other thing about Peloton is you are in that ecosystem, and I don't know if anybody's been monitoring Peloton lately, but that company is not really healthy. Like they capitalized on the pandemic work from home trend, but kind of after things have opened up, you know, maybe people have stopped using their bikes as much. It's like, oh, if Peloton goes belly up, and I have a Peloton bike that directly links to the Peloton service, I've got a very expensive like spin bike that, you know, its main feature is linking me to these workouts, which would no longer exist.
That's a very thoughtful reason to not have bought into the hype. Mine was like, this is too much money and I know it's going to happen. I'm just not going to use this exercise equipment. It was a much more shallow analysis. I was like, I'm going to get all hopped up on this, buy it.
Let's not pretend that wasn't my main reason as well.
You're like, I have a moral problem with the way
money.
these guys run their company.
No, it's not a moral problem. It's just like if this company ceases to exist, my bike that specifically connects to their service and only their service.
It's just a bad buy.
Yeah.
It's Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was some moral stuff. Not that I am or was outraged. But didn't you read about there was like some of the trainers from some of those videos, like the live Peloton videos that were like, yeah, the like Peloton brass was like body shaming me and being like, you don't look good enough to like be on people's iPads.
Oof.
Yeah.
I noticed because like my Good Life membership that I don't use, it has an app and they actually have all of the same stuff that Peloton does from Good Life.
Yeah, what they kind of cornered the market, it seemed, but it wasn't like a revolutionary idea.
No, it was something that could be replicated with any company that had like, you know, some budget to throw at that. And Good Life is like, well, we've already got all these trainers that do our in-house classes, like if you go to the gym. So why don't we film them and, you know, steal Peloton's market share? And then of course you've also got the benefit of you can actually go into the gym if you want to, you know, use some of the other equipment, right?
And Dex, you know what? He actually, listeners, he did do all this beforehand. He actually broke all this down. And so when I was shopping for a bike, I reached out to you and it was you that were like, I've actually crunched the numbers. Here's the model you want that has like this, and this. It's got the interface with the same like rough RPM and resistance markers if you want to use the Peloton app, and it's got a holder for like your device. And if you don't want to use Peloton, you can you pretend you're outside, like the virtual golf of riding your spin bike kind of thing. Yeah. So it was cool. I was stoked when we first got it. We should incorporate that. That's got to be a thing. We do like a fitness challenge or like.
Yes, I would love to.
That's why we got into sitting in your basement doing podcasts. Like I was thinking about getting fit.
Yeah. Let's keep drinking pop,
cream soda.
I'd be down for a fitness challenge, but I feel like that's also a challenge I'm bound to lose.
All right, let's see who can watch more episodes of Storage Wars in a row. Like some straight up Kenny versus Spenny bullshit.
If we had to bike the whole time while watching Storage Wars, we would be absolutely ripped before Christmas.
In a matter of days.
Well, if I want to keep watching, I got to keep pedaling, you know?
That's a really awesome idea. Here's what just popped into my head, and I think we got a winner here. I think it probably is the last episode of the podcast, because once I get this thing patented, the moon's the limit. I'm thinking it's a bike that powers your TV to watch Storage Wars, you know? And so it won't play Storage Wars unless you're pedaling.
And the screen on the bike only plays Storage Wars. Somebody's like, what if I want to watch something else? No. It's
like
only Storage Wars.
It's like a branded console, you know? You get the Call of Duty version, the Halo version. You buy specifically the Storage Wars Bowflex. If you want like Hogan's Heroes Bowflex, that's a different model, okay?
You got people trying to hack it in the basement. I don't want to buy 4 bikes for my favorite shows.
You gotta get like the Cody version where you can just like watch any show, but you still have to power it. So like while you're downloading illegally, you're also pedaling. It's genius.
These things, you do put out pretty good wattage. I feel like you could power something with it, like a small screen. So I think you're onto something for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like you want to keep watching your show or whatever that is. Like you got to keep pedaling.
I like it. Something higher stakes though, if you really want it to work.
Okay, so
because like worst case scenario, like I'm just not gonna watch Storage Wars.
I've watched enough. That reminds me. Have you seen like the original creator of the Oculus created like a prototype with literally explosive charges in it? So if you die in the game, they explode and you die in real life.
What?
Yeah. I don't think he's like actually going to sell it, but he was like, yeah, I made this thing that connects to the game, and it like hypothetically, if you wanted to use it, like it would blow your face off if you died in the game. So that's the kind of stakes you need for the bike. Just like,
yeah, it's gonna explode.
It's got a C4 charge. It's speed, but home exercise material.
Oh my god, that's a Tom Cruise cinematic universe movie waiting to happen.
man, we come up with some good ideas down here. It's too bad that we're just unmotivated. Can't build a business of killer spin bikes.
We have no motivation.
Doing this podcast is like, that's all the motivation I got. Oh, game's over. 49ers won.
Good for them. They've been having a season this year.
They've surely been playing football.
Yeah, these guys have definitely participated in the NFL season this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh,
I think football's not my sport. When
No.
I think of 49ers, I'm thinking of like Jerry Rice.
that's a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is still arguably the most. I don't even think it's arguable. He is the most iconic 49er of all time.
There you go.
So
Nailed it.
yeah. But anyway, so we were talking about talking about sports.
Second only to Scoots McGee from the 38 season. Scoots McGee.
There's probably some like big football fan who's just like, yeah, he's like post World War II when the guys got back from fighting. There was some absolutely like just jacked dudes like with military training. And you're forgetting about Scoots McGee.
Yeah, Scoots McGee. You got the kickoff return, caught the ball, and it like immediately kind of hit him low abdomen, and he scooted in his like 50s pantaloons or whatever. But he had a 98-yard return with like poo poo trailing out of him. It was like a whole thing at the old 49ers dome.
Back before they could do forward passes.
Yeah, yeah. The rugby style Scoots McGee, man, tore it up.
I do love watching kind of older, if you go to like NFL history films, they've got like some old games on replay, and it's crazy how big the NFL has become even just in the last like 2 decades, because you go back to some of those Super Bowls in like the 60s and 70s, and it's like fans got in for just $10 and that included a beer and a hot dog. Like this up and coming league. Like the NFL's pretty old, but it definitely had some really rough patches, and there's some competing leagues and stuff
The
like
AFL,
that.
I remember watching that 30 for 30, the best that ever was.
Yeah, so it is funny that the NFL now is this, the worst team is worth like $2 billion.
We were just talking about that because Ryan Reynolds was talking about making a play, like he was talking to me. I called him, I pitched him these movie ideas, and he's like, I don't know.
I got some other things going on. He's trying to buy the Senators.
He's trying to buy the Senators, and he's got these, in his words, needs the sugar mama, the sugar daddy. He's got to form the consortium. And I think you dropped some knowledge on me. Who's buying an NFL team right now?
So the Commanders are up for sale, and it's going to be Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z is the rumor. And like that's a lot of money. But that's the kind of money you need to buy an NFL team.
How much is an NFL team when Rad Dad Redemption buys its first NFL team? How much are we shelling out?
I mean, I think you're talking billions of dollars. The last one that got sold was just this season. The Waltons that started Walmart bought the Denver Broncos, and I'm just gonna Google right now.
John Elway, remember him?
I do.
Hey, remember him?
I'm just Googling how much that sold.
Tim Tebow, he was a Bronco too. Remember him?
He was. Holy shit. Okay. So when I'm saying $1 billion, that's probably way, way, way on the low end. Like that's like bargain bin, found it on sale. Because the Broncos sold for $4.65 billion.
Oh.
So you need a Jeff Bezos, Jay-Z type to be able to buy an NFL team.
And what do you think the Senators are going to sell for?
I mean, it's going to be in the hundreds of millions, but it's not even going to be close to a B, I don't think.
I think we make a play and we get creative. Like instead of seats, every seat is like a C6 Bowflex. And we just got like underneath the ice, we got all these generators. We're solving the energy crisis. We're running our facility. And
that's what the Kraken should have done with Climate Pledge Arena. What kind of pledge are they making if they're not making their fans generate the power to keep the lights on?
Yeah, how serious are you guys?
Climate pledge? More like climate maybe later commitment.
Climate, is it really that big of a problem?
That's probably too late to fix all this anyway.
Yeah, God, yeah. We're all doomed.
We're fine here on this side of the mountains, but
yeah, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else but here.
I can think of like some places where I might like be okay to live. I do like living here, like not to
specifically for like future chaos situations.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we got a good space
high
here.
elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? There's got to be more.
I mean, fertile land, like lots of
There you
farmland and
go.
stuff. Yeah.
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 I like it.
Lots of open space, right? So when you got climate refugees coming in, like my house is flooded and there's no farmland where I am. Like
they got places to go.
They got places to go. We can be like, okay, well, we're gonna throw up, a shack.
What is there, like 4 people every square kilometer in Alberta? I think that's
Is it even that much? Like, I wouldn't be shocked if it's even lower than that.
Yeah, we got space. Come to Alberta.
Yeah, there's a good chunk of it that's probably not even habitable.
Yeah, the nuclear wastelands
of Grand Prairie.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty hills have eyes type areas that no one should inhabit. Got a lot of voting power these days, but like they also have 3 eyes and Trogdor.
Speaking of voting power, did you see Trump? I mean, by the time this gets posted online, he's going to make the announcement, so it's probably going to totally blow up our speculation here. But you see, he's going to make a big announcement.
Sorry. Play the Dex and Drew Rad Dad Redemption like U.S. politic jingle you were talking about that you made up.
Yeah, like the eagle cry with the
Yeah. Cue that up.
Beep.
It's politics time, motherfucker.
Cool jingle. Great job, Dex.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk American politics.
Well, I don't really want to talk politics a whole lot because that's kind of...
And that's our segment. Tune in next time when Rosie O'Donnell breaks down the runoff election between Warnock and Herschel Walker.
One of my favorite things when you were down in Georgia was a post where you're like, I came down to hang out in Georgia and Megan's like here campaigning for Herschel Walker.
I do that all the time and Megan will like read it. She's like, what? No, okay. Why?
I don't want people to think I support Herschel Walker. No, but Trump is going to be making an announcement on the 15th, which by the time people listen to this, it will be past the 15th. So speculation.
I think he's going to dial it back. I don't think he's going to announce he's running.
Is he the type to do that, though? Because I'm like, okay, writing's on the wall. They just lost election. They should have absolutely, like, smashed because he handpicked a lot of the candidates.
Yeah, well, they retained the Senate, and then the vote in the House of Representatives was, like, one of the weakest in, like, the last 24 years.
Yeah.
'Twas not the red tide.
No.
And most of it had to do, or a lot of it had to do, or at least in the sensationalized media, had to do with, like, his backed candidates. So it'd be like a poor time to be like, remember Dr. Oz? Remember Herschel Walker? Like, well, I'm next. I'm still here.
Yeah. I can't believe Dr. Oz was what is even going on? Do you feel like we're in a weird timeline where it's just like, there's writers in the background, they're just like...
I have for years.
Yeah.
I think like 99 the timeline split and I ended up in the kooky one. Honestly, there's been so many times in my life, and I think even just you and I doing things and saying things and like making jokes about potential horrible dystopian scenarios that like we would find ourselves in globally, and like a ton of them have come to fruition. Not that we're like what's the term,
lizard people?
not that we're like lizard people, clairvoyant.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant.
Is that the word? Yeah.
Like see into the future, predict.
But a lot of the things that we used to make jokes about, I feel like there's a podcast in another timeline where we just joke about like some former reality TV star who's like a giant tan cheese ball becomes president. Like it sounds like one of our shitty bits, to be honest.
It does sound like a joke, and it's like we all lived that for 4 years, and he might run again.
Oh man,
It would be pretty wild if he goes and runs again, because it sounds like they're really trying to like get away from him now. They're like, okay, been there, done that. People obviously aren't really into him anymore, but I don't think he's the type just to be like, okay, well, I'll just quietly take the exit over here. Like I feel like he's even if they're like, no, we don't want you to run as a Republican anymore. Like, please, lose our number.
Lose our number, Trump.
Yeah. He'd probably be the type to, and he'd probably have the money to do it from his supporters and stuff, to like run as an independent and be like, I'm your real conservative choice or whatever. And he's got a lot of fans, so he'd probably just, even for his own ego, like if nothing else, not even for the country, for, his beliefs, just for his own ego, I think he would probably run again.
So you're speculating this episode's coming out after the 15th that by this time Donald Trump will have announced his candidacy his campaign.
Yeah, I mean, he hyped up this announcement on the 15th, so I don't even know how you walk that back. Like, I'm doing a big announcement at Mar-a-Lago on the 15th, and then just has this turd of an election where all of his candidates are losing far and wide, and he just comes out and he's like, I've investigated it, and Circle K pizza is basically just Little Caesars.
I buy it all the time on my road trips. Okay, that's Dex's take. I'm gonna say that November 15th he comes out, and he's on the next season of Love Is Blind, and
which fulfills exactly what I'm asking for. Just have some absolutely gross mutants on the other side.
He rolls it up. I think we've got a connection, and it's just actual Donald Trump. Yeah, he's got to call his family to the wedding, and
which
Eric
would be awkward because he's
Jr.
still married to Melania.
Yeah. Oh, they should get Melania on Love Is Blind.
That would be that doesn't fit my vision because she actually is like a pretty attractive. She was a model.
Take it easy, Dex. You should see this guy over here just salivating.
I'd do anything for Melania Trump.
He's a huge Melania fan.
Man, if Trump comes out on the 15th and says he's not running but Melania is, get me a red hat.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in.
Make America
MAGA again.
Mega 2 TOO.
MAGA the sequel. Yeah, I think that's funny too. Like, oh man, like who's gonna be the ex-professional wrestler that's the next president of the United States?
I mean, Jesse Ventura did have his stint in politics, so.
But it's got to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Like there's I'm calling it right now. You can write this down. I listened to this horrible podcast my friends made 20 years ago. And one of them said Dwayne The Rock Johnson's gonna lay a smack down.
I mean, that's basically just the plot of Idiocracy.
Yeah, Comancho.
Yeah,
but I think it's gonna happen. And Idiocracy is another perfect example of things that just have actually happened.
Oh, this is a documentary.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't feel good about myself anymore.
Mike Judge is very accurate.
Yeah. So, okay, predictions. You got a wild card for the November 15th. Like, okay, say that he comes out and he's really butthurt. Republicans are trying to push him out. His candidate's just lost. Everybody's like, don't run, don't do this. But he already built up this announcement, so he just comes out and starts revealing state secrets. He's like, aliens are real. Mars is a projection. Sorry, Elon, you want to go there? It's not even real. And just reveals every state secret.
I got to think about this. The wild card, okay, he comes out, he announces that he's running for president, and it's like, of course you are, yeah. That's what you were hinting. But then the real shocker is he announces his running mate, and it's Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy. And it's just the ultimate, I don't care anymore.
You know what's scary is that's not even outside the realm of possibility. And it's going to be really funny if we're listening back to this after he's made the announcement. And that was exactly what Mike Lindell's there, Trump at Mar-a-Lago, just a couple dudes on the ticket
holding their
2024. We, man, I feel like we had a really good discussion here because I'm looking at the time and we're already, I mean, obviously we'll edit some down a bit, but we're already over an hour. And time flies when you're having fun with friends.
Yeah, man. I love you.
Which makes me think.
Love you, Dex.
I love you too.
Say it back.
I love you too.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you, man.
Makes me think, two friends making a podcast. Next logical step is our own reality TV show. Just kind of bring this full circle.
Yeah, no, it as it does, we got all over the place, but I think we first invest in a energy containment unit, start riding our bikes. We're gonna have to power this production. But then the next logical step for the Rad Dads is Rad Dad TV.
Yeah. And on our own website, not even through YouTube or anything, we're thinking really big picture. Now we're gonna start our own Twitter, Rad Dad Twitter.
we're gonna have our own Twitter handle, or we're gonna have our own platform.
Our own platform, yeah. And then Elon Musk will come by it. But we're gonna do. I was thinking for a reality show because you always come up with these nice pops, like a Soda Pop Hunter.
The Soda Hunter.
Yeah, but it's scripted, like all reality TV is, and I'm gonna place a bunch of bottles of exotic sodas in the woods. You can stumble. I'm using air quotes. You can stumble upon them, look, crikey! Just Crocodile Hunter, but you're wrestling a pop shop.
A Two Dads Too Curious throwback, but we're just discovering sodas in the woods.
Yeah.
It's like Fubar. We got to like take him down. Hey, bow and arrow.
Yeah. Yeah. On our GT snow racers.
Oh, man. I can't wait to set that up.
Oh, gonna be so good. And then obviously, crossover with Love is Blind. Get my Rosie O'Donnell looking ass on the other side of that wall.
You sound like her. You don't look like her.
I got less facial hair.
You got a nice beard. Rosie O'Donnell on Love is Blind. That's got to be on the Trump season too.
Remember when he kept roasting her all the time?
Yeah, man, we were talking about both of them. We never connected those dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not friends.
No, they do
sue
they
each
do
other.
not get along.
Yeah.
Man. To go back to this weird timeline we're living in, we had one reality TV star that was president just like insulting, like verbally insulting this like other reality TV like talk show host.
Yeah. Sorry, Rosie. Sorry you had all those tough times.
She's probably fine, but that would be wild just to be like a citizen and have the president just like tweeting heinous shit at you all the time, because like he represented her just the same as he represented anybody else.
That's what we got to do on the Soda Hunters. We got to get some angry tweets aimed at us. We got to stir up some shit.
Yeah. Oh, I found a bottle of piss, and it's just Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew's coming
Oh,
up.
someone left their piss bottle from their previous hunt, and like Mountain Dew's sending us letters.
They're tweeting at us.
They have to clarify, but did you see all the verified accounts when they shut that down this week? But
because you could just pay $8 to get the blue ticky.
$8, and people were just changing their name that one time.
That was like, I honestly, when I read that, I was like, I can't believe that there wasn't one intern that was like, hey, if we do this, like, what do you think the chances of like every two dudes with a podcast going and buying like 100 verified names and just pretending to be people so they could snapshot those or like potentially get something retweeted?
I spent $12.99 to buy BajaLife.style just as like a vanity plate domain name. I'm not above paying $8 to, impersonate some famous person or brand on Twitter. You had people going in like the Eli Lilly one was the big one that I think kind of put the kibosh on the whole thing, because somebody was like, yeah, diabetes meds are now free. And it was kind of like almost a protest thing, because obviously insulin is very expensive, especially in the US.
Eli Lilly and Company. So I just looked up. I was just Googling because I wanted to see what the best verified account tweets were. And this is one at the top. We are excited to announce insulin is free now.
And their stock crashed because people were screenshotting it, and then of course, so then I saw some, they tweeted, they're like, here's our official account, sorry for any confusion, but then I saw another one that was like imitating them, and they're like, there's an erroneous tweet earlier, we're saying that insulin's now free, we just want everyone to know, fuck you, it's still $400.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's a tough one.
So, yeah, and so that was the one where I think advertisers were just coming out like, okay, we can't be paying money to be on your platform if some guy with $8 can crash our stock price by like $500 million with one tweet.
Here's some other notables. OJ Simpson, yeah, I'm NGL, I did that shit.
I saw George Bush. There was one that was like, I miss killing Iraqis. I was like, whoa. No.
Rudy Giuliani, I stand with Kyrie Irving and Kanye West because George Soros once pushed me down in the street and I was stuck on my back like a turtle for several minutes.
Yeah, it's really funny that nobody foresaw this happening. Like,
well, that's what I mean. Is this just like all happening, and like there had to be one person that is like, I don't know if this is a good idea, Mr. Musk.
But so the way that he was ripping through and firing people like day one, do you want to be the guy that's like, hey, this idea that you have to monetize the company you just bought for $44 billion? I think I see a problem with it. Like this huge idea you've been putting out there in the Twitterverse. I don't think you want to do that. Like 3,000 of your coworkers just got fired and you're not going to be like, hey, Mr. Musk, like your idea sucks. Like no.
No. Yeah, you fired a employee live on JRE.
Okay, so disclaimer before this next bit.
So
We're
here's-
going to leave the bit in. We're going to leave the bit in because it's a funny discussion. But
So here's a disclaimer we're adding in post.
we had to fact check Drew's claim. And it turns out that the video he brings up is edited.
Yeah, 100% did not happen. Not a real thing.
But you're not the only person to fall for it. Like when we Googled it, it's, there's millions of people reshared this. It was a very good edit. But I laughed because it's like, it blew up on the Chinese social network Weibo. And I was like, Drew, what are you doing on Weibo?
I love Weibo. You know Weibo, man? It's the new Twitter.
It might be if Musk keeps going this way, firing people on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, okay. So just a little disclaimer. And you know what? There's a lesson learned. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet, kids.
But I will say, at least we came out and did the disclaimer, because a lot of other people not as good as us would have just been like, fuck it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people not as good as us. We are the best people.
Anyway, disclaimer over. Enjoy the bit, but just understand that it's not real, like your reality TV shows that you love.
They're all fake.
What?
Yeah, you didn't see that clip?
No.
Yeah, he's on JRE, and like they're talking about something to do with Twitter, and this employee they brought with him, this like top members of his executive team, all stand to be corrected. Everyone knows by now my facts are like very loosey goosey, but there's definitely a clip of it. He just like in the interview is like, "Well, you're done here. It's over." And it's like there's a pregnant pause, and it like pans to Joe Rogan, and he's like kind of like mouthing like, "Are you serious?" Like, I think we better take a break. I think we better cut. Yeah, it's just hard to watch.
Whoa.
So definitely get out there and watch it.
Yeah, go see that. So that seems short-sighted to me, because obviously he's trying to streamline, but at some point, if this does prove to be a successful investment for him and the business is growing, you need to then go out and hire at some point. Like, you're not just going to maintain the same employees for 1,000 years, long reign Twitter. Like, you're going to need to go out and hire, and I don't think that that's great for like employee retention or like attraction. Right? Like, it's weird that if you go work at Twitter or Tesla, I guess by extension, there's a non-zero chance you could be fired on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah,
Like,
fair enough. Pepsi tweets, Coke is better.
Not wrong.
APAC,
You know what's crazy about Pepsi and Coke? You know why Pepsi always wins the like taste test? It's because it's sweeter. It's got more sugar. But Coke always wins for like, what would you rather finish a full can of? Did you know that?
I feel like this is one of those liar situations. I'm gonna believe you 100%.
Oh yeah, like Pepsi always wins the taste test because it's so sweet. So you have a sip, you're like, well, this is obviously better. But then you're drinking, you're like, oh, this is very Mountain Dew. Like,
Those are all like Pepsi products in that fucking
You're
bottle.
like, this is very sweet. I don't know if I want to finish this. What am I doing to my body? Whereas Coke is like, the initial sugar hit is not as much, but you're more likely to actually finish the full can.
Soda Hunters.
Soda Hunters on raddadtv.com.style.
Have you seen Superhuman TV on Instagram? That guy just like jumping through glass tubes and barbed wire.
No.
Oh yeah, we got to do one of those episodes too.
All right, as soon as we wrap this up, we're actually just going to sit here for another 2 hours and watch TV in my basement.
Yeah, hell yeah.
YouTube karaoke.
Well, hey team, Dex is going to edit this one into something real pretty and neat, and I always appreciate when he does that. If you get a chance, do send us some more emails, raddadredemptionpodcast@gmail.com. If you have questions or if you have hilarious things to say, I'll read them out. Dex will be very disappointed. Check out Soda Hunters, premiering on Rad Dad TV. Comes on right after Cough and Flop. And yeah. I guess
They tried to tell me that's not a real show.
I don't know what to tell you, bud. We're just shooting funerals.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I hope you had as much fun listening to it as we did making it for you. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
Tune in next week when we summon the ghost of Charles Bronson and ask him his top 10 online dating tips.